Howdy, y'all. This is our Pride Month episode, so you know what that
Happy
means.
Pride Month, bitches.
So you know what that means. Content warnings all around.
Yep.
For
Particularly for suicidal idealation.
self-harm, pretty much anything that like a queer person goes through, and we also got some human trafficking or human smuggling type things. We'll get into it, but that's there too. So just a heads up, this one is going to be a little more heavy than previous eps.
Yeah.
Happy Pride Month.
Yep. Happy Pride Month, everyone, and welcome to the Foxx and the Mage podcast.
I am the Fox.
And I am the Mage.
And as was spoiled with our beginning skit / content warning, this is episode 6 where we are doing Pride Month themed. And for it, we chose 2 queer albums that we wanted to discuss. I gave the Black Dresses 2020 album Peaceful as Hell.
And I gave Cime's 2024 album, the Cime Interdisciplinary Music Ensemble.
And what an interdisciplinary music ensemble it was.
For sure. And also, by the way, I do want to thank Crow for making me aware of the Cime album. Thank you, Crow.
And I would like to thank the weed for making it really fun when I was back home when the pandemic first started in April of 2020, and I got really high and I listened to this album for the first time and I was like, interesting. And then it just kind of stuck with me a lot. So thank you for making the pandemic slightly less unbearable. Or wait.
I wanted to listen to that album like around the time it came out, but I just never got to it for some reason.
No, I have so many of those like things. I just like keep forgetting about it. Like Julia Holter, that one I still haven't listened to. I listened to like half of the album she did a few years ago, and then I just haven't got to the other half. And I'm like, why don't
2 Julia Holter albums? They're both good.
not this most recent one, but the one before that. If I Shall Love, or that. And just like lots of little things. It's so easy to like lose track of these big releases, especially once the hype dies down for it.
Yeah, especially given at this point, I have definitely played catch up. Like my job is a job that lets me listen to music, so like I've managed to catch up on albums over the past few years to the point where I've definitely heard well over 1,000 now, and to the point I don't know what all I need to catch up on now and what I haven't caught up on. So, I try to keep it written down though.
That's why I like Rate Your Music, because I mean, just above all else, it's a really easy way to keep track of stuff like that.
Yeah, I do use it to keep track of what I own at least.
Ooh, hell yeah! Library collection up.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
So
that being said, would you like to start? Would you like to open up with the with Cime?
yes, let's get right into it. The Cime Interdisciplinary Music Ensemble. This is a 2024 album from a California-based artist named Cime, who, as I understand, is originally from Honduras. And this album is 6 tracks, about 48 minutes. And
It's about 56, I'm pretty sure.
It's a little longer than I thought. I did the math in my head wrong. But yeah, so this is, in a word, I'll say unique. I think the Bandcamp page for the project describes himself as Latin screamo, faggy, post-hardcore, something like that. And I would say it's that and then some.
Oh yeah, that's what the Spotify bio says too.
Oh, okay, nice. So I didn't make it.
Yeah, they cover a lot of ground.
I can reclaim that slur.
Oh yeah, I can reclaim the slur of the first song.
I can reclaim all kinds of stuff. I was gonna say that's even though I don't feel like I can reclaim the slur in the opening track, I will say though I did work on a lot of cars with my dad growing up, so I did hear the slang term for transmission just used in very cavalier ways. Which once I discovered the other meaning of that word, then it got funny.
I didn't know that was slang. I didn't know that was car slang.
Oh yeah, that's it's so funny. Like one of my friends, the elusive Daisy, is trans and does blue collar work, and sometimes she will, cause like yeah, like a tranny will be slang for transmission. So she'll just say shit like, "Hey y'all, sorry I'm late. I was late coming home from work because I blew a tranny." Which is something that mechanics say just completely innocently because that's just like something you call a transmission.
I mean, yeah, I guess some of those words do have multiple meanings. Do have like the rock formation is called a dike.
Mm-hmm. And that the English language is awesome.
It is, and I am lesbian. I can reclaim that.
Ooh. And I have family in Houston, so I can reclaim the rock thing.
Alright.
Um,
We're learning stuff.
Jokes aside, yeah. So the opening song is called "A Tranny's Appeal to Heaven." It is like 9 minutes or so, and it starts off like right away. One thing I was like, there's a kind of bossa nova opening, and then we get to some post-hardcore vocals I I like. That there's a lot of emotion to them. I'm not going to say they're the most polished vocals I've ever heard, but there's a lot of emotion to them, and
I don't.
they're very up in the mix too. There's not a ton of reverb.
Yeah, I don't really associate post-hardcore with polish. I feel like that is the entire appeal of that old time music is that it's unpolished and unclean.
Yeah, and I guess there's like a I don't know, like because I definitely know what you mean because like I don't like post hardcore or any music that's like too clean that is like slippery, but like I don't know, like I think sometimes they work for me and sometimes they don't. I think this is a song that they do work for me though.
Oh yeah,
I
same,
really
yeah.
like the almost spiritual element this thing gets. The Latin that's like encompassing it. And then like the second section of this song almost sounds J rock for a little bit, with some of its melodies and tones, and then
Huh? I don't think I ever would have thought of that.
it kind
Are
of
you talking about like with the organ breakdown?
yeah, like the
Yeah.
second move, like kind of before the outro, like if I die I should wear makeup today, like the section before that part.
Yeah, because when I hear those organs, I just call them baseball organs because they're baseball organs.
That's a good way to put it. I know because I can hear it exactly in my head.
I think it's because of "Walk of Life" by the Dire Straits. It's kind of just the baseball song to me.
Is that on a baseball? I guess there's no reason why it wouldn't be like a baseball song.
I don't know, it just sounds like something that would play at a baseball match. I don't know. I don't do sports.
To me, it always sounded like a riverboat with people dancing by and jumping on it in like the 1870s, which is weird because the
Yeah.
band is British.
Yeah, that does make it funny. Yeah. Yeah. Train's Appeal to Heaven is definitely a hell of an opener.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was expecting when I was opening with this, but it wasn't that. There's a lot of genre fusion that's going on here, and there is a lot of kind of yeah, like the song's name is "Appeal to Heaven," and the lyrics are have an appeal to heaven. You know, like they're very spiritual, like born anew from the begotten Son, granted the fruit of creation, suffering in a cocoon, emerging awkward and wet. There's a lot of like creation and imagery here, and that's paired a bit with kind of God creation itself, and then the outro chorus is should I put on my makeup tonight just in case I die? I don't want to die. If I do, I hope I look all right. So we're getting very heavy Yeah, some of that heavy subject matter is peeking its head through on this one.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's this base. It's like the song. It's like the album is like half of the subject matter. It's about her trans identity. About Monty Cime's trans identity. I would say.
And I think that
Right?
makes sense.
Yeah, and of course, she covers other topics too. But I do feel like that is like I do like three of the five like songs that are basically about that. Though I guess one of them really sticks out though.
Certainly.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. All right, that's about all I have to say on the opening track. Do you have any other thoughts?
I don't not really. It's not really one of my favorites from the album, but like my favorites from the album really stick with me for completely different reasons from each other, and I'll talk about that when you get there.
Got it. Then I guess one last thought. I like the glitchy section at the end. I thought that was a pretty nice way to kind of tie in the genre fusions of this particular track.
Yeah, yeah, it is really cool.
All right, and then we get to track two, the Ballad of Tim Ballard.
Oh god, yeah, I remember. You remember the Sound of Freedom when
Oh,
you remember that?
see, I didn't. It took me until the second listen because I didn't recognize it because she pronounces it as a Tim Ballard, and I'm like, who's Ballard? And then I read it as Ballard, and I'm like, oh, Tim Ballard. Yeah, I remember. I remember Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, remember just as just this. I'll just give context, so that for the people listening. So back in 2023, there was this movie called The Sound of Freedom. It was basically this. It's basically the 2020s equivalent of The Passion of the Christ, where it was basically this propaganda film made by this overzealous bigot, Tim Ballard, where he basically paints himself up as this badass vigilante who's going out and just saving kids from human traffickers. Well, but it turns out they had to traffic the kids to actually make this movie.
Yeah, that entire organization is insane. Like, if one of the things that for people who don't remember OUR, one of the things that they would brag about as their tactics was that they would raise funds. They would go meet people who were selling children, and then buy it from them, and then give them their freedom that way. And a bunch of Americans were like, "Oh my God, that's genius! That's brilliant!" But the Mexican in me, who I'm not gonna play into stereotypes here, but let's just say I know a thing or I've heard a thing or two. Is like, okay, that sounds like you're just creating a market incentive for people to traffic children if you prove there's a monetary incentive to do it. Like, how do they not understand that?
Yeah, like that.
They're bragging about this. They're bragging about this.
That is giving traffickers money.
You are giving traffickers money, and you are giving them a reason to keep doing what they're doing because clearly business is booming.
Hi, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to do something.
Technical difficulties, folks.
Yeah, we'll go with
the
that.
Mormons didn't want us trashing their movie. Well, too bad.
No, that was specifically a Mormon thing, but yeah.
I know Tim Ballard is a Mormon, and like a lot of there's some LDS involvement in that human trafficking stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that. I don't know enough about Mormonism to touch that.
They're really hot these days. They're really doing I don't know, like I open up every streaming service. It's like the secret lives of Mormon wives. Because I guess there's a bunch of influencer scandals. I actually have a friend in South Africa who loves weird American shit, and they'll tell me like, so tell me what's going on with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. What are they up to?
All I know about Mormonism is what South Park told me. Dum 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 dum.
Lucy Harris, smart. Yeah.
We are going off topic.
We were talking about South Park earlier, and now it's on my mind.
Yeah.
I'm thinking good things. Anyway, so this song is about yeah, the Tim Ballard, but it's more broadly, it's about the way or the hypocrisy with how Americans pretend to talk about human trafficking and care about child abduction and perdón, and make this huge issue where in reality, like actual Latin American kids especially are suffering because of the same policies and the same because of the same policies or the policies that are supported by people like Ballard and by people who like watch that freaking movie.
Yeah, it's basically it gave it platformed armchair activists.
Yeah.
I'd say okay, it's not platform. Well, like it inspired armchair activists to continue being armchair activists, and it turned out and and like I knew people personally who were very left wing that got sucked up into that too. That tells you the kind of like people IRL that tells you the kind of thing this movie the kind of thing this movie went far.
I majored in criminal justice. I went to college for criminal justice from like 2014 to 2018. And I remember going to like on the border of like Texas and Mexico, and I remember going to a few human trafficking conferences, and just thinking, oh hey, this is kind of although this is bad, but it sounds like people are working hard. I hope they keep doing it. And I just never like thought about it again because I wasn't really all that interested in criminal justice as a subject. But it's clear a lot of people just he did not like lose interest, which probably yeah, if you're that's a thing. It's like you should take it seriously. It's human trafficking, it's evil, it's bad, and it's like yeah, but then I think people kind of go insane because of it. They see it more common than it is. They don't associate the actual things with it. They kind of just project their own anxieties onto the state of the world, and I think the song does a good job at pointing out how like insane everybody is by it's pretty easy to like kind of fall down the rabbit hole into something like this because like what you don't care about child trafficking? Don't you know 4 million children go missing every day?
It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing about it?
Yeah. What are you doing besides just putting a bumper sticker on the back of your car that says "I kill pedophiles"? No, you don't. You'd be in jail.
Yeah, no, you'd.
You're a coward with a gun. Shut up.
Oh, he probably voted one.
Yeah. I like to walk in on the Miss Universe pageants, because I can do it. Because I'm Trump. Damn. I totally forgot Trump admitted
I am
to
a tower.
being a pedophile.
Yeah, this is the world we live in.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh well.
It's awesome that like America is like, even worse than Mexico in the 70s. Like when my family was like, "Oh, this place is corrupt. It's insane. It can never be this bad." They're looking at America now and they're like, "Well, damn. At least I missed the stability of pre. Goodness gracious."
And yeah, I promise this is technically a tangent for this song, but this will come back into relevance in due time.
Yeah,
I already know it.
I would also I love that bass line for like the big Latin jazz section in the middle. I think that shit's really hard.
It's so groovy. I love it. I love the grooves on this album. Like, I love Latin grooves in general. It's just something I've just picked up on most Latin music I've heard. It's just another way around another way around a groove.
It really does. Like I do appreciate how, every like thing is like at least a little bit Latin infused. Whether it's a drum rhythm that kind of eschews the traditional kind of boom 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 type of like kind of Western conventional punk. Or like the horns. There's a song on here that pretty predominantly features pan flutes. When they said interdisciplinary music ensemble, they really weren't kidding.
Yeah, for sure. There's like it's very proggy, but like not prog in the way you think when you hear the term prog.
Yeah, it's like not. It's not like a kind of the 70s, white person with a wall of synthesizers prog. It's just like progressive in like an artistic sense.
Yeah, like it's actually progressive. Like in like how you would say Black MIDI was actually progressive.
Or you even get a little bit of a Mars Volta in kind of some of these
Oh, yeah.
progressions.
Oh, absolutely, Mars Volta.
Uh,
Yeah,
I guess
it's
that's all.
so.
Sorry.
Yeah, that this is probably yeah, this is probably this like the song like okay, this is not the song I go back to the most, but like if I want just like something I could show to someone in a way where I'm not scaring the hoes, this would be the song I'd play.
It's the least host scaring song on the album, and it's about child trafficking.
Yeah.
Told you there'd be a content warning.
Oh yeah.
That's all I have to say about this song. Except I guess I'll shout out the Chapo Trap House episode where they make fun of the Sound of Freedom because that was cathartic and I liked it.
The what episode?
Chapo Trap House.
Never heard of
It
it.
is a podcast full of
I
the socialists who are just making fun of everyone. It's great. I haven't missed an episode since 2018.
I see. I have a new podcast to check out.
Oh, all right.
All right. So the next song, I have no idea if it's just DIY USA or Diusa.
Yeah, I interpreted it as DIY USA, but maybe the USA is this. Actually, you know what? I never even thought of that. Let me type. Let's see.
Like I did notice
Is
that
that anything?
this is.
Could be
I
slang.
did notice that this is the only song on the album where there's has Spanish lyrics.
Oh, that's true.
Well,
Yeah, my notes for this song. Well, I'm just gonna read out like the five notes that I had. Oh, hey, this kind of sounds like Swans. Oh, wow, this song is in Mexican language. Okay, now the song sounds like the Cardiacs. Okay, now it kind of sounds like nothing. Okay, now it kind of sounds like salsa music.
this is my absolute favorite song. If we're talking on the album, we're talking like from start to finish.
Yeah, it's so.
Like this,
Yeah,
this is the one I go back to the most.
no, it really does. Like, and I'm not just saying that. Like the beginning sounded like Swans because it was like vaguely. It was repetitive. It's like repetitive and like imposing and like impounding. Like it. Swear to God, I got deja vu listening to the beginning of the song.
You will never escape swans.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're beautiful and
Yeah.
ferocious, and they have long necks.
See it all. Yeah. But yeah. That bass line is very imposing. Yeah. You're right about that. And not as opposing as the drums when they kick in.
Oh, those drums are grand.
Yeah, and then when she just starts shouting in Spanish.
Yeah, which I really wasn't expect because for some reason I thought that this artist was Brazilian when I was first listening to her. So the Spanish.
Pretty sure she is.
Oh,
So like, pretty sure she is, but like, I
no,
don't
she's
know-
from Honduras.
Yeah,
Or I think she is because that's where the that last track La Ceiba. That's a city in Honduras.
oh, maybe she just yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why. I think maybe the bossa nova. I was like, oh, Brazilian. I don't know. But so yeah, I was like, oh hey, Spanish. I remember. I know some of these words. And it's clearly I think about her insecurities with being both an entertainer and with being trans and with being a trans entertainer. That's kind of what I got from this. It's a bit of a cryptic one compared to the other ones.
Yeah, this one is definitely more avant-garde, and I'm pretty sure that is pointed out in the lyrics too, from the translation that I saw. I don't know any Spanish.
Yeah, I'm kind of relying on the translations here, although there is just yeah. Also, like they say like at the end of the song they say America, they say America, which I thought that was what America was in Portuguese, but I'm thinking it just might be an accent.
I don't know. I never noticed that.
The opportunities, leave this all behind. No, no, no. I hope you are ungrateful, you fucking whore, you son of a bitch. That's the interlude. And I'm not. It sounds like she's singing from the perspective of like her inner voice screaming at her. Harmony with the human face,
Yeah.
petite bougie with the guitar by her side. Invite your uncles to sell laughing gas. The artist can't even complain.
It could be just. It could be, yeah, like you said, our insecurities. Like feeling like an outsider, just stepping into this avant-garde and this avant-garde post-punkish. I mean, she's not really entering AC in particular. It seems like she's just carving out her own niche.
I mean, that's what I get. I can't think of any other artist that sounds quite like this. With this, I guess Mars Volta comes the closest, but even then, that's a bit. I wouldn't call that like a 1-to-1 by any means.
Yeah, no, this. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Well, do you have any other thoughts on this one?
And not much. I kind of just enjoy this in a head empty kind of way, but like it is absolutely my favorite song on the album. I like this song can make me go feral if I'm in the right mood.
Honestly, I can't tell if this one or Ballad of Tim Ballard would be my favorite, but it's close competition. And I will say, like we these first three tracks are, like kind of between the 8 and 10 minute mark, and they are just, they don't waste a second. They are on. They're full of ideas. They kind of explore their topic really intensely, even in cases like DIY USA, where I'm kind of trying to parse out some kind of meaning from something a little less direct. It's certainly not as direct as Ballad of Tim Ballard, but I just like, yeah, these are great like songs. These are great examples of how to do like 8 to 10 minute songs and like not waste the audience's time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, and with that, we move on to track 4, Lempira, or the Lenken Crusade.
Yeah, the shortest proper song on the album.
At only 5 minutes and like 32 seconds or something.
It was just like, yeah, it might have been. I know it was definitely 5 minutes at least.
Yeah.
I think it was just 5 minutes, wasn't it? No, it doesn't really matter.
It's not as long as the 10-minute one, and it's not as long as track number 5. We'll get to it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I guess this was the first song on the project that I didn't really like. That didn't really grab me. I think maybe because it's a little too short. It feels like it doesn't have as much room to let the ideas it has spread out. I do like it when the chaotic section comes in, and definitely there's value in an album having shorter songs like this to kind of pad out or to kind of break the longer song rhythm. But I don't know. I didn't feel like the ideas blended together as well as they did on the first 3 tracks. And then it kind of like ends. Yeah. It kind of ends like when I think it's actually kind of getting somewhere.
Yeah, it is definitely. It's my least favorite proper song on the album. It is just it. I don't think about it as much as the other. It's still good. Just I just don't. It's just not much for me to sink my teeth into on this one.
Yeah, same here.
Still has some tasty grooves though.
Some of the grooves are nice, and I do kind of like it. For like that last section, and I kind of wish it built up something from there, but it ends. Alas.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Then, when that out of the way, let's move on to the centerpiece of the album, track 5, The North.
All right, wait a minute. Let me just see something real quick.
Oh, you were right. Lempira is 5 minutes and 4 seconds. The North, on the other hand, is 25 minutes and 27 seconds. It is long, and this is the song which pretty explicitly goes over the Cime's experience immigrating from Honduras to the United States. Starting with, hearing stories about her family in the up north to her experience kind of dealing with human smugglers getting herself across the Rio Grande. And I'm like, hey, that's where I grew up, near that river. Texas-Mexico border. So this song is good.
Okay. I was just making sure it was still recording. It looks like it is.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Then yeah, I've just been talking about the North.
Yeah, the North. Actually, is it? It's still giving a bunch of.
So this is the song that features those pan flutes I was talking about. It really does. It sounds very new agey, and it gets incorporated with what I would call some angry pianos, and it's nice for about 4 minutes. The problem is the instrumental intro lasts almost 9.5 minutes.
Yeah, I did not need the whole 9 minutes of that. That is my least favorite part of the entire album.
It's a long. Yeah, it's like. Hang on, I bumped my knee against the table. Now I gotta remember to take that out of the audio. Let's see. 32, 1, 9. Lesson to be learned, kids. Don't bump your knees against things. But yeah, it did feel like, like considering the first 3 songs on this album didn't waste a moment. It did feel like we got an intro that didn't need to be this long. Like, a 25-minute song. That's a lot to ask of an audience member, and the first 2/5 of it are basically pan flutes, pianos, and the occasional synth. This was the first time I actively got bored on the album, but things do pick up once the first verse starts.
Oh boy, do they pick up!
Damn.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like that. That intro is like my least favorite part of the entire album, but the actual song section is my favorite part.
Yeah, it's it. If only they could maybe if they made if they cut this into 2 separate songs, then we could just have one 10-minute interlude and one really, really good 15-minute song. Maybe that would have been, but I do think that there was an intentionality to making a song this long, and but whatever. Let's get into, so yeah, the first verse. Hey, she gets a postcard from her family in America. They say, hey, things are good, we love it here, you should come. And that's the start of where everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they're talking about hilariously, and I think she realizes this, but they talk about South Bend, Indiana, as the city that never sleeps, and the road is paved with gold. Which I'm sure that's where her family actually was, but I do think there is a kind of humor in South Bend, Indiana, of all places, being the symbol for America's golded city. I'm kind of wondering if that was some sarcasm to there. Maybe I'm just overthinking it too much, because
I have no idea.
this is because I am also from this culture, and I use humor to deflect from serious issues. Because that's what we do in Mexico. So yeah, this talks about not having any money to make the immigration process, but wanting to go to San Francisco, and it's here that she mentions goodbye to La Sierra, which is in Honduras. So Yeah, that is a while to go. And one thing, I guess I've been like kind of self-referencing the fact that I'm Mexican for a lot of this episode, for context, because this is an album that is in large part about immigration. But I should kind of fess up and say that most of my family lives in like the norteño part of Mexico. Like Coahuila y Tejas. They lived there when it was part of Mexico. Now it's Texas, or in states like Nuevo León and Tamaulipas, Chihuahua, Monterrey. They're like northern cowboys basically. So like my family's immigration story, to the extent that it exists, because half of my family just woke up in a different country one day. That experience is like moving from New York to New Jersey. It's different, but how different could it really be? So I think sometimes it is easy for me to fail to appreciate the fact that some people have to work really, really, really hard and go through a lot to make it to this country. And as I've entered my adulthood, I've like met people from South America and Central America. I've heard their stories, and I think she does a very good job at just laying bare all the emotions involved in dealing with coyotes, in dealing with violence in your hometown, in needing to move out there because you want to, but also because you have no other choice.
Yeah, the storytelling on here was absolutely on point and had me hooked entirely through. Like that whole song section, especially with the music itself accompanying it. These instrumentalists know how to match the tone.
Yeah,
Brilliantly.
this music gets very vibrant right away. It is such a wake up, especially once you kind of get after. Yeah, that like shot dead in the water. May the river leave me home. The north is where I die. Wet, cold, and alone. Like after that section, it really does like escalate into something wonderful.
Yeah, it's just dramatic as hell.
And then the section after that, the lyrics deal less specifically with her experiences and more generally with the way Americans criminalize people born in the wrong circumstances. The way that if you're not here or if you're not in the in group, then you're in the out group, and the out group must be ostracized and scorned. How these institutions don't help people; they only serve harsh retribution. The way that the economy is structured off of the labor of the underclassed and underpaid and exploited.
Right.
And we get more of that. And then at about what Genius calls verse 13, it's a long one. She just gets very, very personal. She's kind of regrets like everything about her existence.
Yeah, this part absolutely breaks me every single time.
Oh, yeah.
Like the intensity. I don't know how accurate it be, but I would actually, well, the way she delivers these vocals and the way how intense it is, I would compare that to Chat Pile.
Check out that's a good point of reference. It's one of the only, yeah, because it's not just intense, but it's disturbing almost. Like
Yeah,
there's something about it that like kind of crawls under your skin in the way that like you would if you were about to die in a horror movie. Like there's just this dread, this doom that comes like piles onto you.
yeah,
Including there is a verse that mentions yeah, it does get into more specific trauma like in that part. I almost kind of don't want to say it, but there is a date that she has in the back of her head where she knows that she almost died. As someone who also has a bunch of dates in their head about times that they almost died, yeah, that kind of hits. That hit in a way I really wasn't expecting. Like, I heard that line, and I'm pretty sure you know which one I'm talking about, and it
Oh
just.
yes, I do.
I kind of. I almost had to, like, stop recording and just, like, breathe for a second. And I'm like, God damn. God damn.
Yeah, it does not hold back at all. She is absolutely just letting it all out.
But at least it does. Uh, it ends on maybe somewhat of a mix where she's talking about I will die penniless and unfulfilled, and I will not regret a single moment of it. We just sang kind of triumphantly, but also with the very real understanding that things suck and they might not get better soon. And his album was recorded last year, so
Yeah, it did not get better. It's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better.
yeah, Southern, especially for like an artist based in Southern California or maybe North. That entire state is just like had war declared on it by the federal government. It's kind of
Yeah,
insane to watch.
really is. Uh, yeah, I feel like that is more or less the that is pretty much the climax of the entire album. Even though that's not the end of the song.
Yeah, and now I have to. I hate to be that person again, but I do feel like the Spanish guitars could have been trimmed a little bit too. Like
I like the tone on this outro. I like it more than the intro. I will say.
it's definitely more earned because it is a cool down after a long moment. And admittedly, I do like the Spanish guitars. I think they're very pretty sounding. I think they're well incorporated. But I thought that like they could have like been shorter by a minute or two.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe that's just me overthinking shit.
I think it's fair.
And yeah, that is the. Or, do you have any other thoughts you want to share?
Oh, that's about it. I think you summed up this 26-minute behemoth very well.
And a behemoth it was. The
Yeah.
scorpion. And then yeah, the last track on the album is about a minute and a half song called "Good Night from La Ceiba," which I'm pretty sure is just a sample from what I'm assuming is people in La Ceiba, Honduras, singing some type of music.
Yeah, I don't
One of
know.
the local musical styles. I assume there's not like a lot that I could glean with it. It just seemed like kind of a vibe, more than anything, because it's just a minute and a half sample. I don't think there's that much instrumental or original instrumental placed on it.
Yeah, I think it's just a more of a palate cleanser.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And with that, ends this project. Cime Interdisciplinary
Yeah.
Music Ensemble.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite albums of last year, I would say.
It was, yeah, and having listened to this for the first time, I can say it was unlike anything I've heard in a while. I think these are some very creative and interesting combinations of a lot of sounds that I like. I'm always up for Latin infused kind of rock or prog or kind of ambitious music. Like music not made by born people. I don't want like uh, you know, doing Latin with more respectability than the Black Eyed Peas, which admittedly isn't very hard to do. But I do think that
Yeah.
this project is bursting with creativity and raw emotional honesty in a way that makes it very hard to forget. And although I'd have some gripes about maybe some of the song decisions on the last half, which is like, 3 songs, but what are 3 songs it was. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I like this a lot, and I am glad I listened to it. And I'll be
Yeah,
keeping an
it's
eye
like
on this artist for the future.
I think that with a bit of tightening up on like the synergy between the band members, that I feel like this band has a masterpiece in them somewhere.
Yeah, like it's definitely like this album. This is one of those albums that does make me excited for what the next one could potentially be.
For sure. Like I could yeah, like I could see them sharpening up their craft and just potentially creating one of the best albums of the decade.
Hopefully, there's enough hype behind it to match. If they do create the next album of the decade, where I'm counting on the nerds at RYM to promote this shit properly.
We'll see.
I don't trust you nerds as far as I can throw you, but prove me wrong.
I don't think I don't think RYM is really latched onto this album either, though. Not I don't see that much talk about it.
Yeah, there's I'm looking at it, there's not like a ton of ratings to it. I think this is still an underground artist, but sometimes an underground artist just has that one project that hooks people so much that it does like get notability more just based on pure quality alone. And I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if Cime did it. Cime is definitely an artist I could see making an album that just launches them out of obscurity just by being good.
Definitely. It's like, and this is their second album too, so they have been doing it for a little while.
Maybe I should check out that first one.
I've not heard it yet, but I have a feeling it probably goes harder into post-hardcore given their description, but I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. You have any other thoughts on this album?
No, I think I've exhausted all my thoughts. How about you?
That's all I can. That's all I can say about it too.
All right. Then in that case, we should move on to our next album of the episode, Black Dresses,
Yep.
Peaceful as Hell.
Yep. I love the Windows XP album cover.
And you also gotta love the which I know if you look at the album cover, where with the peace sign made out of fire, I'm pretty sure that's literally a Shutterstock image of fire.
Yeah, I saw a watermark in there. Yeah.
Which does tell you a lot about the ethos of this project and what kind of people the artists are.
Yeah. It also took me a long time to realize that Ada Rook was a member of this band.
Yeah, her and Devi Kalyan, they're a duo before they ended
Yeah.
up dissolving.
Yeah, that whole story is sad.
So I guess I'm going to like introduce that and kind of like mention that when I say that, yeah, this album released in April of 2020. It was like right when the pandemic was starting, and like honestly, this was like the huge talk of the internet sphere, and it got like a lot of praise, accolades. I think like Fantano said it was like his third best album or his third favorite album of that year. So that's like a popular endorsement. But a lot of people like didn't like this band because they thought the sounds were kitsch, like they shouldn't go together. There was some issues with TikTok, a lot of drama of people using some of their old songs in ways that Black Dresses didn't appreciate. So then Black Dresses got bullied by a bunch of people on the internet. And then I think Rook and Devi started dating each other, and now they're suing each other. It really is the story of Black Dresses does remind me a lot of Brockhampton in that this is an artist with a lot of potential, but everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and it kind of left these people worse off for the experience. And a lot of Black Dresses album, if anybody knows them, they're very dark. They're very grim. They really explore some very deep negative places. But this album is kind of an outlier for being a sense of optimism in the midst of a crumbling world. And I think, especially when the pandemic was starting, that was something that I appreciated. I've gone back to this album very, very frequently over the past 5 years, and I still appreciate it, just as much as the first time I heard it.
Yeah, I wish I'd gotten to it sooner. Like that, it's been, like I said, it's been on my list ever since it came out. Is everyone I know around me has been praising black dresses over the years, and I remember, I remember the album 2021 came out. I remember being really drawn to the line "Pussy like a bulldozer."
Yeah, pussy like a blown out speaker.
Yeah, maybe I'll get to that album too someday.
That album, Forever in Your Heart. Yeah, that's a good one, but it's definitely more in the dark direction. But
Yeah.
it is good. Damn, is it good?
Yeah, this album was also really good. I think this is one that I need more listens to, though. I will say, like, it seems like the kind of thing I would love more and more with every listen. Like, as of right now, I do think it's really good, just really good.
Well, then, in that case, let's get started.
So, Left Arm of Life. Yeah. You said this. You said this was them being more optimistic. Well, it doesn't start off that way.
Yeah, it's very.
Uh,
This is a hell of an intro. I will say it's very spacious. It's very atmospheric. I love the atmosphere that they can draw. By the way, from what I'm pretty sure these songs were like made in their bedrooms, but I can't say that for sure.
like I'm pretty sure. From what I picked up, the that is supposed to be a reference to self harm, to cutting.
That's what I assume too, because like most people are like right hand dominant, so like just it happens. And then you
Yeah,
have lines like
but
it's like a pearl formed from the pressure of all the blood in a world of nightmares. It's not
yeah.
something you sing when things are good.
At the same time, it does have the line, "All we can do is try again."
And that like repeats for the last part of the song. Just a mantra, and then you hear it, and like, yeah, all we can do is try again. All we can do
Yeah,
is
so
try again.
I guess yeah, it does have it does have some form of optimism building like that. Like you gotta start at rock bottom.
It's like a begrudging optimism. It's like, hey, guess I'll just be happy.
Yeah, it's like you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I also love
Yeah,
the kind of when the drums do come in, they kick in. They're very fun way, like something like. So I forget what exactly the beat is, but yeah, this is one that it leaves an impression.
Yeah,
Intro.
and it also and then the transition between this and Damage Suppressor is very whiplashy, and I feel like that's intentional. I feel like it's like Stepford smiling.
Yeah, and and I guess Damage Suppressor is like after the Left Arm of Life is like an intro, like almost a thesis statement. Then you have in Damage Suppressor, which is right away with the upbeat synths and the blown out drums and the pop cooks.
Yeah, like I did say, it was
Yeah, so you go.
I did say it was Stepford smiling, though the lyrics are pretty upfront about the pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's even potentially a potentially a 41% reference here, which she's saying says everything ends, but I got 60% left.
Battle damage, purgatory, hell, world princess, somehow. See, I kind of like enter as a double reference to the 41, but then like the whole thing is kind of video game themed, so it's incorporating like like maybe if I channel my anxieties like I'm in a video game, I can trick myself into self confidence.
All right.
And I don't know, I think it works. I mean, first of all, that hook is just really catchy. It
It
gets
is like
stuck in
there's.
my head.
I have the song starred. Yeah.
Nice. As do I.
Yeah, and I do like that. It does feel like they're checking in on each other. Like that is. Yeah, solidarity is very important for marginalized communities.
Yeah, like that verse. Like I guess the verse after the chorus when like the double kick drums come in. Which by the way, I love that idea. The double kick drums with this already booming industrial music and the light little instrumental elements. Like that part just really like kicks up the momentum. And then yeah, it's like Devi's saying, "Can you be as safe as you can?" Ada says, "I know it's not easy." Devi says, "Stay alive if you can." Ada says, "It's barely up to." Like I like how a lot of these lyrics are framed as like a conversation almost, or just something very genuine between two people.
Yep. Oh, now I see why Audacity. Why I thought Audacity wasn't recording. It's just because the thing keeps stopping. Even well, not the actual recording, but like just the little red the red line just stops for a millisecond every now and then, so it's behind, even though it is recording.
Uh Optical illusions. That damn red line.
Yeah, yeah, because it says it's recording. But yeah, yeah, Damage Suppressor. I kind of just interpret it as see as the first proper song on the album. Left Arm of Life more or less feels like an intro to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something I think of that much about.
Yeah, that's how I view it too. Like I enjoy Left Arm of Life, but I don't have it starred or anything. Just because
Yeah.
I would listen to it when I'm gonna follow it up with Damage Suppressor, a very loud, fast song that you know is about is
Yeah.
about how kick ass it is to not commit suicide.
Yeah.
Not doing suicide is badass.
I am a
Oh,
firm
it's Always
believer
Sunny
in living
reference.
to. Yeah, I've never seen that. I should
Oh.
actually watch that
I have.
someday.
I'm sorry if my humor. I have the worst sense of humor. I have to say.
I reference things too. That's just what the both of us do.
Yeah, we're nerds.
Yeah. But yeah, Angel Harris seems to follow up on this with the theme of living to spite the world, which I personally do. I mean, okay, I live for more than that, but like I will live, but like I do have the model. Every time someone tells me to kill myself, I'm gonna live another day just to spite that motherfucker.
Yeah, honestly, that's yeah. That's one of how I try to cope with my own suicidal ideation. Is I mean spite can be a great motivator, but just doing it for perseverance's sake. There's also something to be said about that, and I think I like how Angel Hair does go into like this anxiety, especially in like that second verse when the instrumental breaks down. It just gets very glitchy.
Yeah,
Like those
I
lyrics.
had that written down. That I loved the breakdown on there. I thought it was very tastefully done.
Hang on a little longer. It feels like the world is lost her. Drippy, drippy dreams. It's all becoming water. Creepy, creepy ship inside a spooky harbor. Dizzy, dizzy world inside. Her dizzy heart. Her heart just falls apart. So yeah, lyrics referencing a lot of confusion, a lot of the stress of dealing with mental illness, and kind of just being worried about your place in the world. And then the
Yeah.
chorus is very soaring, type of my heart is sweet and mushy. I never wanted anything or anything tied up in tangled angel's hair, which I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I, I I guess in my head I kind of thought it was about the pasta, and I didn't question it.
I don't know. It's
That
like
might be a literal
I'll
angel's
s-
hair, and I'm like, huh, okay. What if it's an angel's hair?
yeah, I didn't know that was a pasta thing.
Oh yeah, angel hair is awesome. It's like spaghetti but really thin.
That makes sense. I don't eat spaghetti. That's why I don't know it.
Well, it's better than spaghetti because it's like thin, so it doesn't make you full if you eat two spoonfuls of it.
I guess it's more just that I don't need pesto sauce, and so that's probably more than anything else.
Ah, those Italians.
Yeah. I also say writing notes for this was a bit harder than some of the other ones. That I don't have as many overall. I feel like this was more of a holistic experience than it was writing about individual songs.
See,
I I,
you go.
still have enough here to go through this track by track, though.
It's definitely the type of. So this is an album, one of those albums that has a lot. It's the opposite of the other one because it has a lot of shorter songs. Like most of the songs are between like 2.5 and 4 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
there's like 17 of them.
There's 15 songs, and it's a 46-minute album.
Okay, yeah. So it's a good length, and but a lot of these songs, and I guess I do like these kinds of albums where every song is just has like a couple really good ideas, but then they don't overstay their welcome, and then you just move on to the next good idea.
Yeah, that's like the ethos of punk.
And there's a lot of punk ethos in this album.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely helped helped its appeal for me. Uh, yeah, Beautiful Friendship is it seems to have that ethos as well that I noticed. Like up to this point, this is my favorite sounding song on the album.
Yeah, I love the way that those synths are so like sinister when they start up. Like I love how like how aggressive this album sounds. Switch to the same.
Same.
And then the chorus comes in, and it's this very loud kick drums, but this very upbeat piano going. Like, I guess it's kind of a. Like, I guess that's the big thing of the album is like contrasting harsh industrial sounds with lighter electro pop, or at least that's what a lot of the songs on this album purport to do. I think this might be one of my favorite songs on the album. I think it does it super well, especially
Yeah, I can see why.
and especially that that verse with excuse me with the screamo vocals. I forget who sings that one, but I do like the production, how that just gets really blown out, and then it gets gentle, and then it just kind of gets back on course.
I don't think I noticed the screamo.
I was like, yeah, it was the after the it's the one after right after the first chorus.
I see.
It was like,
Either
oh yeah, it was Rook singing according to Genius.
okay.
How hard, how wide, beautiful decade. Yeah, which, by the way, she has a great scream to her, I will say.
I guess it just doesn't register to me as screamo, but whatever it is, it's really good.
I guess maybe not scream. I think growl is maybe the word I meant to use. I
Um,
shouldn't have. I think we were also talking screamo earlier, so I get my words mixed up. But it is like
eh,
a growl because it is kind of legible. You can understand her words, what she's saying.
right.
Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah. I also like the line "Transit can't take the sparkling rainbow."
Mm-hmm. Like the sparkle rainbow. Scuba. I need.
Oh, I'm a freak because I'm always freaked out. Is one of my favorite songs on here lyrically.
I love this song lyrically and sonically. This song is just very linear. It kind of okay, like we had 3 songs in a row with conventional pop structures, if not conventional pop instrumentation. So, and this song just goes straight into being linear and peculiar. There's like 5 distinct sections to it. None of them sound like anything else.
Oh yeah, and I also love the theme of autistic masking.
Yeah, that's definitely and I don't know if it's autistic masking necessarily. I got a lot of kind of like some gender anxiety from this too, but
Oh, same. There was some of that too, but I feel like there's just many ways you could take this song.
and that's one of the things I think this album does really good with its incorporation of pop is taking, like the universality of like pop music can take very complex situations and make them universal through kind of a like simpling things down to their barest essence. And I think this album does a good job of them expressing their own anxieties, their own mental health issues, which come from a myriad of places. I'm certain that's how every person's mental illness works, and they are just so relatable. Like I said, if I relate to the song autistically as well. I mean, it is literally just. It sounds like a song in a high school movie from the aughts that got corrupted by a virus.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And right, yeah, it also seems to delve into like this desire to, this internal conflict of not wanting to shut out the world, but also not wanting to get hurt by the world, and how that can eat you up more than facing either end of the spectrum.
Yeah, like that the world is this dangerous and often hostile place, but it's nice to not be nice. And I love that Devi's like I just want to be nice refrain because yeah I'm sure she does want to be nice, but then the world or like explain that I'm getting ahead of myself. First of all, I want to say I love that line where she says, everybody struggles with their words. You don't mean to sound mean, but things can get tangled, and you could still say something really fucked up, and it could be fucked up without even meaning that. Which autistic as fuck. So I relate, but then it also made me think, oh, other people probably feel this way too. Other people have probably said things to me they didn't mean to sound fucked up, but then just did, and it kind of, the tragedy of the human experience is just this incompatibility with being able to communicate.
Yeah, that is a whole can of worms that I don't think I really want to open up on this.
But I think Devi does also. She's succinct when she just says, I want to give people a chance, but they keep letting me down. I want to be wrong again. I want to be wrong about being wrong. And it's like, yeah, it's like, ugh, so. Feel it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites on the album. Not my absolute favorite, but we'll get there.
And I love this the synths when in that I want to give people a chance first. It goes doo-hoo, doo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Like I love the way that sounds. And then the I'm so cute and well adjusted part when it just slows down, it breaks down, it gets real thrashy, it just completely corrupts itself. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I do love that abrasive sound this one has, especially in relation to the track list, like you said earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites on the album. It's very unique. It's linear. I love the very singular focus on like society and talking to people and socializing. Yeah, it's great.
I also like Bliss and Stupidity, not as much as the last one, but like this one seems to have the inverse where it has the glitchy switch up at the beginning.
Yeah, it does. I do like that intro section. Although I kind of wish it lasted longer. I love the way that it sounds, and then it does transition into a slower song. This is like probably the slowest non Left Arm of Life song on the album. Where it's just kind of chill, and honestly, the singing itself is pretty loose. Maybe I think the vocals are a little bit too loose at points, but then the chorus comes in quickly, and then I stop caring.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I didn't have this one starred for the record either, but I do like. It seems like an extension of the last song, though. It seems to just be dealing with how it's like, no matter where you go, no matter what, it seems like some people are just going to hate you.
Yeah, and how like we're kind of wanting to be liked by everyone. It's not a realistic thing. And then you said you were chasing down bliss and stupidity as wanting to be blissful and ignorant of the world. So it does incorporate the socialization themes of the last track, but in a bit of a more self-aware, or I would say that I wouldn't. That's not the word I meant to use. But in a more I could be liked by everyone, but actually that would make me dumb and vapid or something. But maybe I want that. I don't know. This album does a lot of the whole individualism versus society themes in a very balanced way.
Yeah, and it is interesting to it is interesting to think about, so even though it's kind of hard for me to actually put it into words.
Oh, I get you.
Same thing with Mirror Girl. Like this one, I didn't really have much notes on, and that it seemed what I was able to pick up in the song. It seemed to be about body dysmorphia.
Yeah, we go from the slowest proper song on here to the fastest one. Is like two
Yeah,
minutes. It
and
steamrolls you. But yeah, I think body dysmorphia. Looking in the mirror, not seeing yourself, not identifying you with what. Yeah, that's like a big part of this, and it is. It's a big sounding song, and it's sung with a lot of passion and ferocity under those words.
yeah, and as someone who has some of those moments every now and then, that definitely hit me in a way.
I also love these bells.
Yeah.
These bells
Oh,
hit great.
these aren't even my favorite bells on the album, but we'll get
Oh,
there.
that's right. The bell. Yeah. So yeah,
Hey,
this song is simple. It's like 2 minutes. I have it on my workout mix. Not much to say there, but it's if you like songs that are like short and fast and sprintable, this would be it. Like the first time I listened to this album, I had to listen to this one like 3 times in a row just because I was like, "It's over already? What? No, no, no."
yeah, that sounds about right. Uh,
That's who type of person I am.
yeah. Maybe this world is another planet's hell. I mean, this world might as well be hell, so I guess.
And then we went from the slowest non-intro song to the fastest song to a song even slower than "Listen Stupidity." But
Yeah, it's
it's a nice break from the kind of industrial intensity of the first half of the album.
definitely. And I will say, I mean, I know it's not what they're going for, but I'm pretty sure as a kid, I kind of thought Venus was hell.
Well, it might as well be. It doesn't seem very pleasant up there. It's
Yeah.
like 900
Not really
degrees all the
pleasant
time.
here either.
Yeah, at least it's not 900 degrees yet, though. But give
Yeah.
us a decade. We'll get there. I believe in us.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Well, in general, I feel like if I believed in a god, I'd probably be way more nihilistic than I am about it, and I'd be thinking things like this. But like we're already in hell. It's like the stuff going on here. We are making hell. It's like be saying that in a literal sense, but like no. Instead, I just say that metaphorically.
Yeah, and I forget. Is this isn't an original? Hang on, was that Voltaire or something? Who said this world is another planet's hell? Is
Yeah,
another
I don't remember. I don't think I've ever.
Aldous Huxley? Yeah, Aldous Huxley said
Okay.
maybe this world is another planet's hell. So it's like I don't know. I've never read Huxley, so I can't say if there's like some literary references I'm not getting. But yeah, this is like a kind of like a dark wave song. It's like slow. There are these synth bars go beep 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 beep. Like they kind of sound like a satellite flying through the air. It's very atmospheric, and it is another song that's like, yeah, this world is just cruel and awful, but we should maybe we need to make the best of things in spite of that.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a very touching message in 2020. Oh boy, how things did not change for the better.
Yeah, damn.
5 years later.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
especially for this band. But let that be a lesson. You
Yeah.
can only date your bandmates if there's a bunch of you, like in Fleetwood Mac, where you can kind of spread that around. Even
Yeah. Even
Sonic Youth couldn't survive Moore and Gordon divorcing, nor should it have been. I wouldn't want to work with any of my exes either.
yeah, exactly. And Kim Gordon has demonstrated very well she doesn't need Thurston Moore to make good music.
She's made some of the best music. Like Thurston Moore, like I she hasn't done shit. Like I know he's released a bunch of albums, but like they have barely like splashed the fucking water. And Kim's out there, fucking ruling the world in her 70s, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see if Ada or Devi. We'll see which one's the Moore and which one's the Gordon, I guess.
I feel like I hear more about Ada than Devi, but like I don't know the whole thing. Then I don't really care to look into it. So like I'm not gonna label one. I'm not gonna
Oh,
label
oh,
them.
I guess I don't mean in the sense that like one of them is like cheating on the. I meant like in terms of like who's gonna like emerge like kind of the winner, quote unquote. But honestly, I'm with you because I do remember when they were both on Twitter just sharing very visceral personal details about the other, and I was like, I shouldn't be reading this. This feels really wrong that this information is out there. So I don't know. Again,
Yeah, I feel like when people say separate art from Mars, they should say about stuff like this and not to defend abusers.
yeah, because this is just look. They gave us an optimistic album. The music will survive forever. The fact that they fight, yeah, whatever. Okay, we're not talking about celebrity gossip. We're talking about track 9,
Yeah.
"Scared to Death,"
Yes.
scared
Scared to death.
with a
Yeah.
number like Prince would do it. Who
Oh yeah. And I mean, given the album cover, that makes sense. Yeah. It this one is there's another one that I've gathered to be about just how hostile about how hostile the world is, but like it feels like it's kind of touching some similar ground as some of the previous songs, but not in a way that really sticks out to me.
It does. I kind of like this, like the second part of this track more when once the rock section comes in, and then it just turns into we're gonna find out what it's gonna be about, and then the glitch breakdown at the end I think is pretty good, but thematically I am kind of with you. The song, honestly, these lyrics might be the least specific on the album. Like there's vague references to anxiety, but then it's just we're gonna find out what it's gonna be about. We're gonna find out what it's gonna be about, which I like, but there's not a lot to chew on.
Yeah. Yeah. Express Yourself is also kind of in a similar boat. I felt. Though I do like though I will say the line is okay for me to be messy. I would say yes, it is.
Yeah, on this one I like a lot just because it does. Yeah, it's like, is it okay for me to be happy? Is it really okay for me to be happy? Is it okay for me to be messy? It's such a that's such a fundamental like building block of one's self esteem. That there's a part of me that thinks thematically it would have fit better on like closer to the front of the album. I mean, I generally I think the track like placement on this thing is pretty good, uh, but I digress. Also, that riff, the riff. Come on, that's a great riff.
I don't remember it. Yeah, I don't
It's like
remember it.
it's like something a stadium. It's like stadium shit. That was like grand. I was like, I don't know. There's a lot of like ideas and just like little bits in there that kind of blow my mind. And I feel like every song, for me at least, has at least a couple of ideas that just instantly are stuck in my brain forever.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the case with me over time. Who knows? Uh, but that did happen with Sharp Halo, and that's what I was talking about with the bells.
Ooh, yeah, and Sharp Halo, that's a great one. It starts right away with like the sickest drop I've ever heard.
Yeah, I do love the distance there, and this seems to bring back I mean, I said before that I would be nihilistic if I believed in a god. Well, this seems to take that concept and run with it.
Yeah, like the angel imagery, the gods, the prayers, woods, wishing. There's a lot of yeah. This one is like kind of explicitly religious, or like kind of spiritual reference. I'm not sure. It's also a bit like vague with the lyrics, but there is references to angels spinning while burning, destruction in life. Again, having a halo.
Uh, yeah, and it does seem like it would be like be very resentful towards a god that would create something just to eventually torture it for eternity.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
Yeah, I gotta stop myself
Now,
though. I'm not gonna go on that tangent.
the hell imagery on this album is something, and it doesn't surprise me because that's what like the album cover is kind of taking the fires of hell and like carving your own symbol of peace out of them. So yeah, there's just a bit of that, but that's all I have to say. So should move on to "Impossible Dream," which is the shortest song on the album.
Yeah, the interlude.
Yep, 1 minute and
Uh,
22 seconds.
yeah, it happened.
Yeah, I did kind of like the impossible dream of having the skin. Everything crawls on, everything goes in, and I just
Yeah,
want to have my body to like. It's a short just statement of is it so impossible for me to just enjoy being autonomous?
yeah, like it does a good job of carrying the flow of the album too. I will say.
Oh shit. I'm reading the lyrics on Genius while I'm looking through this. Apparently, according to Devi McCallion, she said that the song was informed by the paintings of Zlatislav Berninski, or Bakinski.
Hmm.
That, which I believe he was that like Gothic painter who survived World War II and drew paintings of like trees turning into mushroom clouds. If I
Yeah, I
recall
feel like
correctly.
I would. I feel like I would know that. Maybe I do know it, and I'd recognize if I looked it up. I don't know.
Honestly, it makes sense that Devi would be into. Yeah, I look at these paintings and there's like something Black dresses about this. I'll link you the artist's name when we get off the call.
All right. Yeah. Please be nice. All right. So we are treading some different ground here. It seems. It seemed like for a while it was kind of like the themes were kind of giving us the same themes for a bit, but now we got something different about which seems to be which seems to be partially directed at the people that were harassing them.
Yeah,
Like,
which good. They should, and this is like such the best way to like address the trolls is to just a basic plea for common decency. I mean, the
yeah,
song is called "Please Be Nice." It's not asking a lot, and people still fail it. The people.
exactly. It's like Yeah, it's just people feel empowered to say whatever they want behind a screen, even though like it's still, even though there are people behind those screens, it still affects them.
And
Yeah.
I like that line especially where she says, "I promise you'll be okay if I'm not your friend," which is also because it's not just about being harassed, but also people who are I guess harassing you, but because they want to be friends with you. There's some of that too, and just like I think parasocial relationships in general. And then that chorus is just so sing songy and sweet.
Yeah.
Don't be
Yeah.
weird. Don't be mean. You're on my computer screen. Yeah, it's great.
I don't know what, but the way you said that just made me think of that "Don't Be Racist, I Am a Building" video.
Don't be racist. I'm a building. Please be nice.
Uh, I don't know why my mind went there.
Yeah, that's a building things.
Yeah, it's just skyscraper stuff like racism.
Yeah, exactly. And this band is from Canada, so they don't have skyscrapers yet. Hopefully, we're gonna get them one soon.
Yeah, Toronto's naturally full grown trees that are and all, especially that one that kind of looks like the Space Needle.
The CN Tower doesn't count as a skyscraper because it emerged fully formed out of the earth. That's just
Ah,
a very elaborate rock that just so happened to be shaped like an observation deck.
so it's a government conspiracy.
Exactly. Why do you think Drake
Hmm.
got to take a picture on it without falling off?
Huh.
What if he actually? I
So-
wonder if he actually did that. Probably not, but no.
No, I'm pretty sure it was confirmed he was photoshopped in there.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like yeah, weak. Anyway,
Yeah, but anyway, "Creep You" is the best song on the album, and it's not close.
yeah, I would say it is close, but also it is the best song on the album. Like
Like,
it is
like
great.
this made me feel shit. Like, goddamn, just okay. First of all, we're gonna get this out of the way. This does the window pane joke better than Eminem.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and with like an actually like funny self-referential wink to it instead of just like a boring self-referential wink. Like that was my idea of a joke. Did it make you laugh? The little giggle almost at the end. That shit's great.
Yeah, but yeah, just the repetition of that. Do I creep you out? It's
Do I creep you
just
out?
just like that make me feel so many things.
Yeah, this song is pretty. I think more than any other song is about like kind of gender, not even gender dysphoria, but like not getting along in society as like what you want to be perceived to be, and then like also depression with like there's a lot of the metaphors of comparing a person's psyche to like a house that's falling apart because it's been in disrepair. A lot of that shit also kind of hits me strong, like the spider webs imagery, the rotting
Yeah,
floorboards. And
yeah. Like, honestly, I feel like the shit this makes me feel kind of puts me in a similar headspace as I am when I listen to Wall Socket. If that tells you anything.
yeah, I would say it does. And also, this
Just
song is like the most conventional sounding song on the album at first. Like, there's not a lot of glitches or abrasive instruments to it. It just sounds like a typical alt rock song. And then there's that chorus of "Do I creep you out? Do I creep you out?" repeated over and over again. Like yeah, that line gets repeated so much, it just like burrows in your head, and like every possible interpretation or meaning of that phrase comes to mind because that's just what happens when something like that is repeated. And Again, it does speak something because I've also felt in situations where like my gender identity just makes me like very awkward around other people, or just I don't feel comfortable in my skin, and I already feel, because of other mental health issues. So yeah, that's something I've often like worried to myself, and the song, I think it is an amazing job at putting to voice those anxieties and that very specific concern.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and it's just, it's just people are just scared of what they don't understand, and it seems, especially now, they're not willing to learn. Like they rather stay in their little cocoon where everything where everything makes sense to them instead of even if it's not actually true or healthy. And the fact that
Absolutely.
these are the people that these are the people that make decisions for the world just really just puts everything in perspective. Just how fucked up everything is, and how worse it got since the release of this album.
Yeah, it is. It's bleak to think about, and even in this album, his album's attempts to be optimistic by kind of again forging happiness out of the fires. It does. The fires are there, and especially like with the current moment, it's hard to not look at that. But then I do respect how the album doesn't shy away from any of that at the time either. Things are
Yeah,
things are
like I'm
worse
sure it
now, but
was.
they were also very bad. Even when trans rights was still a thing people were more generally on board with. It feels like today things
Yeah,
are bleak.
like I feel like it was more like back. I think it was more back then. People were more focused on the pandemic in general. I feel like that kind of was kind of a thing that got in the way of stripping trans rights, and a combination of that and in the 2020 election, I guess stalling Trump back 4 years.
Yeah, and it really was. I guess it's Pride Month. I can tension how I want. Really, we saw like kind of between 2020 and 2024, a lot of people really fail to meet the moment for queer people in general, but particularly trans people who are just the most shit upon people in the United
Yeah,
States. You know,
it's like
it's like we
you keep hearing, like Republicans saying that like they lost like the Democrats lost because of the trans election. Like Democrats didn't say anything about trans people.
now
That's part of the problem.
Kamala Harris went up at every stage and said, John Kelly said Trump was a dictator. Vote for me, and I'm going to bomb Russia. How about that? Like, there was no, like, the people who were in a position to codify some of these protections into law, or, like, stand up for these communities just completely were out to lunch, at the time when, we had 4 years when Trump wasn't president. That was 4 years we could have gotten a lot more done to protect people that needed to be helped. And, as I see how awful things are, that atrocious Supreme Court decision upholding the gender affirming care ban for minors in Tennessee, I see just, I can't help but think of like the missed opportunities that could have prevented us from coming to this point.
Yeah, it's like this song is gonna fuck me up every time I listen to it. I can tell. I feel like this is going to be one of those all timer songs for me in due time. It's getting me think this hard about stuff. This makes this makes me uncomfortable, kind of like that part in C Mason North, but in a totally different way. And like this is more subtle,
Yeah.
say, but like Holy shit! They really struck something with this song. They struck like the rawest possible feeling of whatever this feeling is. I can't really describe, but I am going to be very I'm going to be thinking about this song a lot in for however long now. I can tell.
Oh, I've been thinking about it a lot for the past 5 years, so uh, it's a nice welcome to this group. Yeah, no, this like I said, I do think it's the best song on the album. Yeah, the theme is great. It's not a theme I see expressed a lot often, but then it is just kind of you do so much with such a simple set of lyrics, and then the production is also great. It sounds wonderful. When it gets real glitchy at the end, it kind of you feel like the kind of weight of the mental pressure like fully collapse in on the singers. That's just
Yeah,
good. And then
yeah. I'm gonna listen to it again after when I get off the call.
and that's the penultimate. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Oh, that's it.
All right, so yeah, that's the penultimate, and maybe one could argue if "Left Arm of Life" is an intro, then I think this last song, "666," could be considered an outro.
Yeah, it's like a coda. It kind of sums up the themes of the album.
It's basically a demo. It sounds even more simple than the others, and I'm assuming this is like a bedroom pop type production, from what I understand. But it is sparse and simple, and the lyrics are just sweet. You know, it's even in hell, if our songs can reach each other, then there's hope. As long as you're with me, everything is going to be okay. It's an ode to friendship, and then it even ends like with this very cute outro where Ada and Rook or Ada and Debbie are talking to each other, saying, "That's all I got so far. What do you think?" "Oh, I think it's really good." "Yeah, well, we'll edit it later. We'll do it okay." And then the kind of the last words you hear on this album are just a genuine moment of friendship and camaraderie between two trans women appreciating each other's artistry. Now I'm
Yeah,
getting teary. Fuck. This is the most uplifting song I've ever heard with 666 in the name.
yeah. That sounds about right. It. I definitely appreciate its place in the album. I think it closed the album beautifully, and also it is also a cool down from the roller coaster ride that was Creep You.
Oh, absolutely. It ends a very intense album on a lot, very sonically, emotionally, lyrically. It ends a very intense album on like a very simple and sweet note. And yeah, even though like I said, it's not a song that I have starred or anything, but it's one that I never hate listening to. It's just very nice.
Yeah. Uh that was Peaceful as Hell by Black Dresses. Do you have any final thoughts on this album?
Uh, None that I haven't shared already. I think I've nerded out about this kind of in every capacity I can.
Yeah, this is definitely an album I need more time with. I feel like I still don't fully grasp the big picture here.
Maybe it'll if you listen to some of the Black Dresses other albums, it can you can kind of see some of their ideas.
Maybe like I know like around 2020 I remember seeing a fan animated video of their song Cartoon Network, and I remember thinking that was the coolest shit
Oh yeah,
ever.
the
And
Joni Phillips one. Yeah, I love that one.
yeah, yeah, and honestly, it's still really cool.
It's a cool video, and that is a good song. Love and Affection for Stupid Little Bitches. That's a great album of theirs. I guess if I had to recommend a different album, I'd say the one they did right after this, Forever in Your Heart, which does have the Pussy Like a Bulldozer song.
Yeah, I will definitely get to that eventually.
And that
Hopefully not. Hopefully not in another 5 years.
No, I'd save it for 4.
Oh, it has been 4 since it's come out, so yeah.
Oh, you're right. That's what 2021 means. There we go. Okay, so I guess I would probably give the Cime album an 8 out of 10, like a strong 8.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about where I'm at with it.
And peaceful as hell. I guess if it meant more than obvious by the shit I was talking about, I consider this album a perfect 10. I have like maybe 40 albums that I would call that, and this is one of them. From the first moment I listened to it, it just absolutely blew me away. It's like the first time listening to this was not since the first time I listened to Death Grips' Ex-Military did something just completely floor me and astound me from every possible angle. So, I mean, I have nothing but praise for Peaceful as Hell.
Yeah, I'll probably give Peaceful as Hell an 8. You know, like
An 8.
yeah, yeah. Like these are both really good albums in different ways.
Oh, most certainly. We got the long proggy Latin one versus the Canadian industrial synth pop.
Yeah, and they both explored some similar themes.
Yeah. Happy Pride Month. This was our most depressing episode yet.
Yeah.
Matt, maybe for next Pride Month we need to do something more upbeat, like a Scissor Sisters or something.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would appreciate that. So, for episode 7, though, I promise we're not going to make that one as depressing. At least, then again, given what thing, I don't know anything about the other album, so I might be lying.
It won't be it won't hit these notes. I guarantee you.
Okay, cool. Because next episode we are talking about genres that we struggle with and trying to recommend albums in those genres to each other. So I tend to struggle with like emo and post-hardcore.
So I gave to Mage the New Romance by Pretty Girls Make Graves, which is the album that got me into emo and post-hardcore because it introduced those sounds in a way that I liked. And like I struggle with kind of guitar-y singer-songwriter type music.
And so for that, I gave Foxx Joan Armatrading's self-titled album.
And those will be what we're listening to in the next episode.
Yep. My name is Mageclick.
My name is Foxx Navarro. If you are queer out there or to stay alive, we love you. We support you. I'm going to kick your transphobe in the head for you. I'm going to be your emotional support, like brown trash fighter. I will beat up whoever you want me to. Fuck transphobes, fuck the haters, fuck homophobes, and fuck the government. That's where I'm at.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, same here.
Also, this is not Pride Month related, but stream John Fetterman by RXK Nephew. That song is funny as hell. Alright, anyway, I'm done.
Alright. And stream What's Going On by Madeline May. That's even more autism coded than the autism songs on here. Alright. And with that, we shall see you. Peace.
Alright, take care, y'all.